Right, this is video 4, chapter 4, creating the actual product, and this video is going to concentrate on creating your ebook. Okay, here we are, and this is OpenOffice. Now there's lots of ebook creation software out there. Some of it's good, some of it's bad, some of it you pay for and some of it's free. So what I've done here is I'm going to give you a demonstration on how to put an ebook together via OpenOffice, which is a free piece of software. You just go to openoffice.org and download it to your computer. You'll get an icon for your desktop. You just double click the icon and it opens up just like this. Now it's like any other piece of word processing software, okay, except for it has this little border around it. This is the kind of standard template, and believe me, even just the very basic standard template can look extremely nice when it's finished. I will give you an example of that now for an ebook that I made a couple of weeks ago. Now this is an ebook I made in OpenOffice, and this is 22 pages, and you can see I've got the graphic there on the first page, followed by the title, then the my name, the author's name, and then this is actually a free ebook. This one, this is one that I gave away, and I did a little table here with each page number in, and I also put a clickable link to my blog alongside it. But as I say, this was a free ebook. Now I also put my picture in on page 2, table of contents, then I put the chapters in, another table with page 2 in, and then I put the copyright notice in, and then I started to fill the ebook with chapters. So that's chapter 1, and every so often I've put a picture in. Now the first thing I'm going to say to you is put pictures in, but don't put them in there just for the sake of it. Put pictures in that are relevant to the content. In other words, don't have content and pictures running against each other. Don't have a picture about something completely different from the content you're writing about. There's no point. The the picture should complement the content. Okay, so that's just an ebook I did using this very same method that I'm showing you here, openoffice.org, and as you can see, it looks pretty nice. So let's go back to what we were doing. Okay, here we are back at openoffice.org, and we have basically a blank sheet of paper. Now on the very first page, what I would suggest is to have your graphic here, okay, which is the ebook cover. Now the ebook cover will fill a large part of this first page. Now what we need to do is we need to decide what we're going to call this book, and we need to decide what the graphic should look like to a degree. So in other words, we need some sort of design. What I tend to do is I go to sites like 123rf.com, which are sites where you can buy images at very low prices and you have permission to use them. Don't take chances, don't go out onto the internet and start looking for images and just using them, because someone eventually may be coming back to you wanting to know why you've copied or you've used their images without permission. So for the sake of a few cents or a few pence per image, go to sites like 123rf.com, or maybe you've got a favorite site where you can purchase the rights to use images. Now I've also added a video as an unannounced bonus, which is basically entitled How to Legally Get 10 Million Free Royalty-Free Images. It's just amazing really what you can get out there and have permission to use. So check out that free bonus which I've added with this product. Now let's get on to okay, on the first page here, what we're going to do is, as we've said, we're going to put our graphic in, so we're going to get that done, and then I'm going to put, quite simply, the title and the author's name. So we're going to call this 5 Simple Steps to Create Killer Products, rather surprisingly. And let me just type that in. Okay, now all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to come right down to the bottom, paste it in, and we're going to centralize it. So I just highlight it like that, come up the top here, just click on center, change the text style. I'm going to change it to Georgia, and we'll increase it to size 14, and we'll bold it like that. So we're going to have this down the bottom, so this is going to be below the graphic. I think what I'll do is the actual product title, I'll choose a different color. Let's choose something like a dark blue, well, medium to dark blue, like that. And then right down the bottom here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a table in here. So I'll show you how to put a table and why I'm doing it. I'm putting this table in just so it looks neat, and it will have the page number in there. And if you were doing a free ebook, you could put the URL, the clickable URL to your blog or whatever your offer in there as well. But because this is a paid product, I don't want to put links all over the place coming to my other products. So I'm just going to do a standard table. I'm going to come up to the top here where it says table, and as you can see, I'm just going to choose one of these squares and just click it like that, and then a table appears down here. Now you can have this table any depth you like just by clicking the return key. If I click the return key, you can now see my table is bigger. And there's 2 things I'm going to do to this. Firstly, I'm going to get a background color, and I'm also going to insert the page number, which is page 1. Just make the page number a little bit smaller like that. Let's just get that a little bit more centralized. And of course we're going to have a background color. So what I do is I just put my cursor to the side of the table. It says select table row, and just click like that, and it highlights the table. Then what I do is I come up to here, or you can come up to here, it's the same, it's the background color. Okay, it's just like a little paint pot, and select a background color for your table. So I'm going to select fairly lightish blue. I would suggest maybe light blue, light grey, something like that. Let's try this grey, blue grey. There we go, that's not bad. Nice and light, and it gives us just this nice little touch to the page. Makes the page look special. So that's the first page. The graphic's going to go in here, and I'll show you how to insert images. We haven't got the graphic yet because we're going to get that made. And then we come on to page 2. So what do you think we ought to be putting on page 2? Well, we should have a copyright notice we should have some sort of copyright disclaimer notice. So let's do that now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a table. So let's have a table at the top here, and again we come up to create table, single table, but this time we'll make this table a little bit bigger. So let's have a table of that size. Let's just delete this so it goes up the page a little bit. Let's have this right at the top. So we've got this table, and again, remember how we put the color in. Right, so what we do now is we highlight the table by just putting the cursor to the left, clicking, and then we come up to here where the paint pot is, and we just add our blue-grey color to that table, and that gives us this nice colored shaded area. So we can add our copyright text to this now. Okay, what I've done here is I've just pasted in the table of contents and the actual chapters that I'm going to put into this book. Now, every chapter is a step. So do you remember me saying to you earlier on, keep it simple. When you've got your content sorted in the order you're going to present it, your first piece of content or your first chapter is going to be your first step. So that's the first thing we want to teach our reader. So on the first chapter here, I'm putting in, why do you want to create your own product? Okay, so that's the first step I'm asking the reader to take. I'm asking him or her to think about why they really want to create a product. The next step is product ideas, where to get them fast. Okay, so we're going to have a list of how people can find product ideas to use, where they can go to get them, because it's a logical sequence, isn't it? After you've worked out why you want to create your product, you then tell them where they can get ideas for that product, and then you go into the third step, where to get a never-ending stream of content, because now they need the content for that product. And then the fourth step, which is your fourth chapter, creating the actual product, which is what we're doing now, aren't we? We are creating a product. I'm showing you how to create an ebook. So the first step is ebooks, and then the final chapter, which is the final step, creating the actual product, which is videos. Well, I'm just going to change the colour, or I've just changed the colour of the table of contents, and I think what I'll do with the actual wording here for the chapters, we're going to take off the bold, and I'm going to make it slightly italicised. Italics, that is, by the way, for those that didn't know. And not sure if I like that, to be honest. Let's see what it'd look like if we just had the chapter in bold. I think that might look a little bit better. Let's just bold up these chapters. Okay, now this is page 2, so we've got a fair bit of space here. So what we could do here is we could put a photo here, a photo of you, because it always looks nice when the author gives their name and picture. You can relate to that person then, like I showed you in the PDF I made previously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert my picture here. Now it's just the same as inserting a picture into any document. We're going to insert it over to the left, so I'm going to line to the left with my cursor. Then you just come up the top here and just click on Insert, and then look for Picture from File, and then just find the picture on your computer. Click on Open, and there's the picture. Okay, so I'm just going to align that over to the left, and underneath the picture I think I'll just put my name. So just put your name under your picture if you want. Let's change the colour of that text. And page 2 is not looking too bad at the moment. We've got the copyright notice up the top. I mean, you can have this anywhere on this page. It doesn't have to be up the top. You can have your image up the top if you want. So then we've got the image, got the table of contents. We've got this which explains the chapters. I'll leave that there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the same table that I've got on page 1 down on page 2. Now this is what you do. You just use your cursor, click on the table, go Control C, or if you've got a Mac, go Command C, and then when you get down to the bottom of this page again, just go Control V if you've got a PC, or Command V, and that will just drop that table into the bottom of page 2. So all you need to do now is just change the number to a 2. Simple as that. Now I've added the rest of the chapters. I've included some images, and I've put some clickable links into the book, and as you can see, the book's looking pretty good at the moment. So how do we add images? Okay, well, all we do is we simply come up to the top here, and where it says insert, it brings this drop down list here, and I just click on picture, from file, find the image from your computer, just click on that and it will import straight into this space. Now, I think, as I mentioned to you earlier, the best images probably you can use for ebooks are ones that are on white backgrounds or are on transparent backgrounds. Now, if they're on transparent backgrounds, they would be a PNG file. Now, when you import the image, you can resize them like this. You can just drag and drop them to resize them. I tend to try and have all the images of a similar size, but there are occasions, for instance here, where sorry if I'm making you go dizzy by scrolling down, but if you look at this type of image, which is more of an instructional image, if you like, because some of the text can be quite small in the image, I tend to stretch them out a little bit so people can actually read the text and what's going on in that image. So sometimes if it's an instructional image like that, I will make them a little bit wider. Alright? As I say, you can resize them simply by stretching them out to get the actual size of the image that you want. Now, the next thing I'm going to cover here is I'm going to cover inserting links, hyperlinks, just clickable links that will link through to a resource that we're talking about or to a product that we may be talking about. Now, here you can see I'm talking about a course called Traffic Maniacs 2.0 here, and I've linked that to the link to the website. It's very simple to do that. All I do is, let me just highlight that for a second, and you can see as I come up here, it says Traffic Maniacs 2.0 in this left-hand text box, and it says it has the address that we link to. The full HTTP address is needed. And over to our right here, we have this hyperlink drop-down list, which you just click and just click Add as Text, which means that it will form a nice clickable link like this as text, and once this whole document has been converted into a PDF, then we can people will be able to click on those links and go through to those websites that you're talking about. So that covers links. Now let's go through the document. As you can see, we've got content, we've got images, we've got clickable links, we've got these little footers that we created early on, and we just keep cutting and pasting them into the document. Anytime you want to get rid of something like this, you just highlight it and you come up to the top here where it says table and just go to delete, come across to delete table, click it, and that will delete that table. So if you put any tables into your document that you no longer want, that's what you do. Now we're getting on to the last few chapters here, last couple of chapters I should say, and we're talking about creating clickable links as I'm explaining to you now, and then in the last chapter I'm talking about creating the actual product via videos. Now I'm sure you can appreciate this is not a video course on how to make videos. There are courses out there for that, but it is a course on how to, or why you should and how you do a video product. So I'm going to be explaining that in greater detail in video 5, which is the next video. So this is how I've explained it into the document, and I've put some useful links here for various screencast software that you can use, both free and also paid software. I'm recording this in Camtasia, but I have done a demonstration video for you in Cam Studio, which is free. And coming into the final few pages of the ebook, we're going to sum it up. So what I've done here is I've summed up what we've spoken about into the final few pages, and then we have the resource list. Now this is very important because everything you've been talking about in this document you should list at the end in a list of resources with clickable links to those sources. So that is how to create your document. And you see I've put the copyright notice into the final page as well. Now what we need to do is we need to turn this into a PDF. Now you may well have PDF software on your computer already that you prefer, but with OpenOffice all you do, and it is really simple, you just come up to the toolbar here and you can see this little icon here. It's a PDF icon. It's about 6 icons in from the left, and you just simply click that to export this document directly into a PDF. Now I don't want to do that at the moment because I need to check this document over for any final mistakes and any spelling mistakes, any grammatical mistakes that you can find. You want to iron those out now before you turn this into a PDF. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll be speaking to you in video 5.